أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Madam Chair, Commissioners, Lead Counsel, Assistant Counsel, viewers and listeners, members of the press, good morning. Welcome to our daily proceedings of this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. For our next item on our today's agenda, I have the honor to yield the floor to Madam Chair. Madam Chair, over to you.
I will call on Honorable Sila to lead us in Muslim prayers and Honorable Joyner to lead us in Christian prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. O God of Bethel, we give you hearty thanks and praise for allowing us to see the start of a new month and second half of this glorious year of 2025. Thank you for your grace that has kept us thus far. Hear the prayers we will offer, not for ease that our prayers shall be, but for strength that we may forever live our lives courageously. Be with us as we sojourn pilgrim's path. Guide our steps through the steep and rugged paths. Enable us to tread rejoicingly. Be our strength in hours of weakness and in wanderings. Be our guide through endeavor, failure, or danger. Father, be thou on our side this month and forever more. Praise you. Amen.
Mr. Gay, why is the mic making noise? Oh, okay.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. Welcome back. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters, I want to remind you that you are still on the oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you. Madam Chair, over to you.
Good morning, Mr. Batchily.
Good morning, ma.
Yes, you are welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Lead counsel, we may proceed.
Hello. Mr. Batchily, good morning.
Good morning, Lead Counsel.
Investigation report. Is police investigation report. I have here with me a set of vouchers, about 4 vouchers. These are payments made to you. The first is voucher number 22000358. The second is 1824. The third is 0084. And the fourth is 0738. Do you recognize those vouchers?
Yes, sir.
We apply to tender the vouchers into evidence as exhibits. Yes, been overtaken by events.
Seven. The payment voucher dated the 10th of August 2022. The payee's name in this payment voucher is Mustapha Batchily, CEO. The payment voucher dated the 5th of December 2022. The payee's name is Mustapha Batchily. The payment voucher dated the 10th of February 2020. The payee's name is Mustapha Batchily. And the last payment voucher dated 15th of September 2020, and the payee's name is Mustapha Batchily. The details of this payment are personal loans granted to the witness. And for the payment voucher dated the 11th of January 2021, the purpose of this voucher was for the disbursement as building maintenance loan granted to the witness, Mr. Mustapha Batchily. These payment vouchers are admitted in evidence as exhibit, and they are marked as LGC/BCC/MB/008.
Ask the Commission, please. Mr. Batchily, we start with the vouchers that were authorized for Omar B.J. Ture, the Deputy Mayor. We have one that is voucher number PV22001207, being disbursement for the purchase of fuel for an official trip to North Bank region on behalf of the Mayor. Now, Mr. Batchily, why will Omar B.J. Ture be given 8,000 as fuel?
The rationale was that, as stipulated in the request form, that he was supposed to have represented the mayor to an event in the North Bank, I think.
Please come again.
Yeah, he was requested then to attend a ceremony for the Lord Mayor. On that basis, you know, like,
which ceremony is that?
I would not remember specifically.
And where is the invitation to justify the payment?
The invitation should be attached to the request.
Will be?
Should be attached to the request.
Here is the voucher.
Normally. Thanks.
Do you have the invitation there?
No, it's not here.
So what is in the supporting documents to indicate or show that the payment for fuel was valid?
Normally, you have the invitations attached. I don't know in this case why it is not, but
Yes.
normally you should have it attached.
Exactly. So if it is not there, then you cannot justify the payment.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Or would you be able to provide the invitation?
Well, no, maybe we pray on him to sort out that invitation.
Come again?
Because maybe he's the one who used to file these invitations, these personal invitations.
Who?
Omar Ture himself.
Yes.
So if at all it wasn't attached to this particular one,
There's a request form,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's
It
a
should have
request.
been attached normally.
but there's no invitation.
I agree with you, but then it should have been attached.
Now, Number one, the mayor would have been invited, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And if there is no invitation,
And
the legality-
normally, if that happens, if the mayor is invited and she cannot make it up, she should append her signature normally.
exactly.
For-
So we
for-
don't have an invitation, we don't have any minute on any invitation, apparently.
That should have been the case. It should have been attached.
So the validity of this payment is in question.
It's in question. Yeah.
We also have payment of loan granted, well, the words are faded away, but let me go to the next page. It says disbursement as personal loan granted to be deducted from his monthly allowance. That's voucher number 1098. The amount is $100,000. Now, you granted $100,000 to the deputy mayor
Yes.
by way of loan. What is the procedure for the approval of loans?
Normally, it used to be sent to my office,
Yes?
and then I mediated to finance, and then if it's a feasibility, then the payment is effected.
Then you send it to where?
Finance.
Finance department. That's the Director of Finance.
Yes, Director of Finance, yeah.
Here it says it is signed by the Director of Finance. In 2021, August, who was there?
Pardon me?
Who was there in August 2021?
As what?
Director of Finance.
It was Kamamodo Kamara.
Kamara.
Yeah.
So you signed and Kamara signed.
Yeah.
Is the deputy mayor entitled to loan?
Well, if you look at the manual, it doesn't say so.
It
But
doesn't
then-
say so.
Yeah, it doesn't say so.
So the deputy mayor and the councillors, they are not entitled.
Yeah, but then
That is the law. They are not entitled.
the law doesn't specifically stipulate that they should not be given loans. But in a sense, it is also silent in the manual, because it doesn't talk about it.
No, Mr. Batchily, it does. You know, you even said it yesterday here, that when it comes to loans, I mean, they are not entitled.
By virtue of not being staff, you mean?
By virtue of
Not being staff members.
what?
By virtue of not being staff members.
Yes,
Yes.
they are not staff.
Okay, they are not staff. Okay, we totally agree with that. But
Yes.
then the basis of giving them the loans
Yes,
was on the time frame that they were supposed to serve
yes.
in the council.
But they are not, they don't form part of the staff.
Yeah, I
They cannot
concur with
benefit
that.
from the loan. They
I
can't
concur
have
with that.
1/6.
Yes,
What do they have? Salaries or allowance?
allowances.
Exactly.
Various allowances they have.
So you can't give loans on allowances, Mr. Batchily.
But luckily in this case, there is no council who's still left with a dalasi. Luckily,
is
they
no-
have all paid their loans.
Yeah, but the procedure is what is wrong.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Exactly, it is extremely wrong. And you would need evidence of the repayment for Ahmad B.J. Toure. We have voucher number 1043. The council contribution towards the visit of the Khalifa of Fidatua Tijaniya. The amount is $50,000. Now the money was given to Omar B.J. Toure. Who authorized you to give this amount to Omar B.J. Toure for the Caliph of Tijaniya, Sheikh Mahi Ibrahim Nyas?
I would not. Either it will be between him and the mayor, because normally he represents the mayor at times.
It's between him and the mayor.
Yes.
And what was this $50,000 for?
With regards to the ceremony that you just said,
But we don't have, what is it for? The ceremony, but for what? It is not specific. What is the money supposed to be spent on? Is it logistics? arrangements? Or to be given to the share? Do you know?
No, I cannot.
Should you have known?
Yeah, I should have known. Yeah.
But it's not in the, no information is in the voucher. You can confirm that to indicate.
Is there an invitation attached?
We have a letter seeking for, a letter from the Federation of Jamhayatu Asaruddin.
Okay.
It says, Dear Al-Haji or Ajah, visit of the Khalifa, it is with great honor and gratitude that we write to inform you that the Khalifa of Tijaniya, Sheikh Mahi Ibrahim Nyasi, intend to visit the Gambia on the 18th of June 2022 for the first time since he took over the Caliphate from his benevolent brother, Sheikh Ahmed Tijan Nyasi. In this regard, we are kindly soliciting your contribution to help make the event a great success. That's all it says.
Okay, normally with such request, as you have just stipulated, would be enabling them to host the event. But
yes,
normally, what should happen is that we should have a letter of acknowledgement.
Yes.
From the association.
That is, if they receive the full sum. The question here is,
yes,
did they receive the full amount, $50,000, or is part of the money supposed to be for logistics? If yes, what kind of logistics? Was it to rent chairs, provide dinner, lunch? Nobody knows, Mr. Batchily.
Yes.
So if Mr. Ture withdrew $50,000 from the accounts and gave the share $10,000, would you know?
No, I would not know, certainly.
Would that be proper? This, you have to confirm whether there is any. You have to confirm whether there is any supporting documents in relation to this. Do we have supporting documents in that voucher to indicate what the money is for?
Like I said earlier on, for us, or even like from the auditor's point of view, they would always request an acknowledgement letter.
Yes.
From the institution that was donated.
That is, if they are to receive the full amount.
Yes.
Were they to receive the full amount?
Yes, they were to receive the full amount because it's termed here as council's contribution.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then it should have been the 50,000 given to the religious association.
We assume council could have withdrawn the money.
Yeah,
council could have withdrawn the money for the money to be spent on logistics, like I said, on the purchase of items, gifts. We have seen that with Anafal. Bishop Anafal. Part of the money was given to her, and some was used to purchase some items for her.
Yes, I had listened to the...
You see the point?
Deliberation, but in this case, I'm still trying to make a clarification in this case. I don't know if you would go with it, but like, for example, in such incidences, if they ask or request for donation, it is not normally for the council to tell them to tell them in a way, buy this, buy that, or do this.
Okay.
What normally happens is that council would know that this association has an event and then some expenditures will be made to make it successful.
Yes.
So what council does is it will take an amount and give it to the association.
Okay.
As its contribution.
Okay.
But like what, in agreement to what you said, and like I said earlier on, even from the auditor's point of view, one only way of ascertaining that it really happened was that they should write an acknowledgement letter stipulating the full amount.
Yes.
that was donated to them.
Yes.
So that's why I said I agree that that's not here and should have been here.
So how do we solve this problem? How do we now know or ascertain whether the full amount was received? Is there any way of knowing?
Well, we can engage the accounting officer at the BCC, who normally receives acknowledgement letters, to see whether they have acknowledged the letter, and their acknowledgement would give us an indication as to maybe how much was received.
You can do that with Mr. Ture.
Okay, I'll note it. Now I'll take it up with the present CEO, if necessary.
Very well. We have another one. The honorarium for coordinating the delegation from Austin Banjul, $10,000 was given to Omar B.J. Ture. Why? Why was an honorarium given to Omar B.J. Ture?
I recall at the time when the delegation came, he was the official that was mostly engaged with the delegation that came from Austin.
Why giving him an honorarium? He's paid to do this job.
Yeah, well, that must have been the mayor maybe being happy with what he did.
It must have been the
mayor being happy with what he did and decided to give him that amount of money.
It must have been the mayor's decision.
Yes, of course.
To give Omar $10,000.
Yes.
But you know that is wrong. Why would you do it?
Well, you know, I'm not the one who delegated him to look after these people. So another person will come and say, well, he did a very good job and it was a form of encouragement. I'm not justifying it. I'm just also trying to give maybe differing opinions.
Another disbursement as cash impressed for the facilitation of logistics in attending various programs on behalf of the Lord Mayors in relation to the 2020 New Year celebration. $10,000 was paid to Omar B.J. Ture. Again, is cash impressed. Was it retired? Do you know?
I would not know from this standpoint, but there's one thing that I have personally learned from these exchanges, which I think definitely is not the norm in councils, unfortunately, but...
What is that?
Is the fact that, like you said earlier on, you give cash impresses if you do not know what actually you are going to encounter in terms of expenditures. But if you decide to give a particular amount, for whatever reason, it should not definitely be called as a cash impressed.
Okay. Very well.
I learned that from here.
Very well.
And in our case, that was a norm, I have to admit.
Was a norm?
It was a norm.
Okay. Now where is the retirement?
And it should have a retirement. It should be, because...
Was it retired?
Normally all cash impress should have the names of the individual allocated to.
Now, was it retired?
I'm not particularly sure about this one, whether it was retired, but I just also want to take the opportunity to also explain to you and also to agree with your previous sessions where you've been asking officials about why create a cash impress when you knew exactly the amounts that we are anticipating to deal with. Normally, like I said, you should only deal with cash impress if you do not know
Yes.
what are going to be your areas of expenditure.
Yes.
But in our council, or maybe councils I can say in general, because I've served at least 2 councils now, that has been a norm.
Okay.
A cash impress. But by the end of the day, a cash impress also results to the provision of a retirement.
Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah. And I understand that very, very, very well. I'm now saying, now that the classification is wrong and we're on the same page on that, do we still have a retirement?
You mean generally or in this case?
In this case.
In this case, there should be a retirement.
There should be.
Yes.
Is there?
No, not attached here.
Do you keep an impressed ledger as at the time you were CEO?
I don't think we used to keep.
So if we don't have an impressed ledger, then we will have records of retirements. Correct?
But normally there are some retirements that are attached to the documentation.
Yes, yes. But again, like I said earlier, let's assume that someone says there was retirement. The impressed ledger would be there to have all the information from the point that there was a request for an impress, if there was ever a request for any impress, and to the point that it was approved and money disbursed. All those would have been recorded in the ledger and the retirement therein. So that when you give impress and no retirement is done, another impress cannot be given to the same
individual.
So that we would, so the idea is to minimize wastage and fraud, so that we don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You give Mr. Ba $10,000, he never retired the amount. 2 days after, $20,000, no retirement, and it keeps on going. Before you realize, it's in the millions, and no retirement. And so you are not minimizing fraud at the risk for fraudulent practices or financial wastage. You are maximizing it. You understand that?
Yep.
So you're giving people the opportunity to be corrupt, creating an environment for them to be corrupt. Is it because of their positions it is different? It's difficult to control them? You have the deputy mayor, the mayor herself. Is it because of their positions? That's why it's difficult to do the right thing. Yes?
It's a question.
Is it because of their positions that is making it a bit difficult to control them?
Could I say could be, or could I say yes?
Come again?
Could be or yes?
It could be, and it's also yes. Okay. Now we have again voucher number 1167, Amar B. Ture, the deputy mayor, given 1/6. I've already said this. Amar B. Ture cannot be given 1/6. Correct?
Yeah, because there are no staff members.
Please come again?
Because there are non-staff members.
No staff? Yes, there were no staff members. The last one for Mr. Ture is $22,597. Payment of monthly council allowance for the month of October. How much does the deputy mayor earn?
No, sir, I cannot just remember from here.
You can't recall.
Yeah, I can't recall.
Whether allowance increased during this period? Basically, did you increase allowance between 2018 to 2023?
When was, can you kindly tell me the year that you're talking about?
This was in 2020.
Can I kindly have it so that I'll be able to? Yes. Council.
Yes, sir.
Okay, normally, those that receive their remuneration from the bank, it's an accumulation of both of their allowances and those of council sittings, all put together and paid to their account.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, will you be able to provide us with information regarding the allowances from 2018 to 2023, and if it ever increases, you tell us the increment and the process.
Okay.
Yeah. The process of approval for those increments. We have Binta Conte. You know Binta Conte?
Yes.
Who is Binta Conte? The secretary.
Secretary to the mayor.
Okay. What is the fuel allocation for the mayor?
I think, if I am not, it's about $15,000. If I'm not.
$15,000.
Yes.
That's the mayor said that is not the allocation for her. That she is entitled to $5,000. That she was given. She's always given $5,000. The protocol officer is given $5,000, and the utility guard $5,000. Now, you are the CEO. You can tell us if that is the case, or is it $15,000 for the mayor? And we will ask you the necessary questions. Now, can you tell us?
If I'm not mistaken, we used to give 15,000 to the office of the mayor.
Yes.
And how they used to distribute it, I am not too sure whether it's still in my.
But that is for the mayor.
That's for her office.
Okay. Is the protocol entitled?
From the context of being part of that office.
No. Who is in your office as CEO?
I have myself.
Yes.
The director of admin.
How much are you entitled?
I used to take 3,500 a week.
3,500 a week.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the director of admin?
Same. All the directors and myself.
3,500 a week.
Yeah.
And who else is in your office?
And then, you mean in my office entitled to fuel or what? Because if you just say those that are in my office, it's like you're talking of a bigger group. Are you talking about those that are entitled to have fuel?
Yes.
Yes, you have myself and the director of admin.
Yes, just two of you.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the mayor's office, who is entitled to receive fuel?
You know, from another perspective, because the argument is that herself, the protocol officer.
Whose argument?
I'm just their argument.
Yes, that's the mayor's position.
Yeah, that this official
Yes.
needs fuel to do a lot of work for her office around town.
That is the mayor's position.
Or in the greater Combo area.
Okay. Is the protocol officer entitled? Now I'm speaking about administration.
No, according to what you're asking, based on administration, in administration, all those who are entitled for fuel are from grade 8.
Is the protocol officer grade 8?
I cannot recall.
Is the answer no?
I cannot tell you from here what grade, because the thing is, he was not even on a grade, he was on contract.
He was on contract?
Yeah, he was on contract.
Why?
Because then we could not get the Local Government Service Commission to process the application for his role.
If you don't get a Local Government Service Commission to process his application for a role, then you would not have the authority to also appoint on contract.
Well, but that was with the...
you know what I'm trying to say?
Very well. I'm telling you what happened.
No.
What transpired.
Mr. Batchily, don't get me wrong. I appreciate entirely the commission. I'm sure appreciates your evidence and your honesty in trying to explain the facts as you understand them.
Yeah.
But I will also ask questions also to get the facts to be more clear.
Yeah, well, fine.
The position is, if another authority is to do the appointment and they are not present, the authority that does not have the power to do the appointment cannot do the appointment because of the lack of having a constituted lawful authority. So you cannot act as mayor, assuming the role, as CEO, assuming the role of a mayor just because there is no mayor for 2 months. You get it? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
you cannot perform the role of a, let's say, finance director just because there's no finance director for a month as CEO. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I also have a clarification to make.
Feel free to disagree to provide more clarity on this.
In this case, the Local Government Service Commission, I'm not saying that they're absent. They were present.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we've had situations whereby a lot of high-grade positions, the vacancies, were sent to the Local Government Service Commission, and it took months.
It makes matters worse for you.
Before they acted.
It makes matters worse for you.
So that was the reason why some of these vacancies, we filled it through contracts and also send them copies.
It makes matters worse for you. If there were no Local Government Service Commission that was constituted, then you may have acted unlawfully, but perhaps with good intentions. Now you have one. They didn't do their job. You cannot do their job for them.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't do their job.
We can't do their job for them.
No.
But then, if for example, it is a way of filling up certain positions.
You cannot. You are tying the finance of council when you don't have the authority to do that. You understand it?
Yeah, but then some of, including this one, some of them were budgeted for.
But
you
still don't have the authority to appoint them. We were going to discuss appointments at some point. Of many people that were appointed when they came in 2018, and in our opinion here, we think all the appointments were unlawful. You understand that? Makumba Sane, the mayor's protocol as well. We have a similar problem with KMC. Bringing the Kaburu, bringing friends on board just because you were in the same course, and you do it at the expense of the people. The people of Banjul don't have equal opportunity. The people in the Gambia don't have equal opportunity because someone somewhere has power. I mean, that's what existed in BCC also. But we will come to that. But the question now, so that we will not jump the gun, is whether the protocol officer is entitled to receive monthly fuel.
Okay, let's first start with entitlement.
Yes.
Entitlement based on administrative feasibilities.
Right.
There, I agree with you, because if the officer is not grade 8 in the first place, you should not be entitled to any fuel, and without the provision of like a proper insurance document. That's the administrative requirement.
Yes.
Okay, but now in the case of this gentleman,
Yes.
he was brought in by the mayor.
Yes.
And
he was brought in.
Yeah.
What is the name?
Margaret Samba.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, I need a protocol. Went to council, I need a protocol. I had to have a protocol officer. So, given those circumstances, what we could do as an administration is just maybe like to give him, especially when we have not heard from the Local Government Commission, it's just to give him a contract. That was the rationale. That's how we are thinking.
Council approved it?
Yeah.
They passed a resolution.
No, it's not about passing a resolution. It was done via the establishment committee, but endorsed by the council.
How did they endorse it? Council will endorse 2 resolutions.
Yes.
At least that's what I know.
No, normally, what emanates from the committees are called recommendations.
Right, recommendations.
Yes.
And if they are approved, how are they approved?
They are approved by the, I will not use the word approve here. I would say the recommendations are agreed to.
And endorsed.
Endorsed.
How are they endorsed by council?
By the chairman of the committee. So that's the reason why I want to.
No, the committee passes a recommendation for XYZ to be done.
Yes.
It goes to council.
Yes, it goes to council.
It is an agenda item or part of an agenda item.
Part of an agenda item.
And if it is agreed upon by the members, how do they communicate to you as CEO that they have approved or endorsed XYZ recommendation? Is it not through resolutions?
Yes, yeah, resolutions.
Do you have a resolution to that effect?
There is no resolution to that effect. Let me be very clear with that.
Right, so there is no endorsement then?
It's none in this case.
So no endorsement?
None.
So then, in what capacity? Or did you mean to say it is endorsed by the mayor and not council?
No, like I said before, it is the mayor who brought the need to have a protocol officer.
Yes.
To the council.
To the council?
To the council, yes.
Yes, yes.
Rightly, because of the need for it, for her office.
Yes.
So she brought it to the council's attention.
Right.
That's where I'm talking from. That's why we took it up.
Right.
To the establishment committee.
Yes.
And realized that we have not had anything from the positive from the local government service commission.
Right.
So we cannot employ the gentleman. So given those circumstances, that's the reason why I explained to you, we said, okay, look, since we've not got anything concrete from the commission, let's take him on a contractual basis.
Was there?
That was a way out.
Was there a vacancy or a position for protocol?
Yes.
In the budget?
At the council?
Yes.
Yes.
There is a position already before the mayor says she needs one. There was already a position for protocol officer.
Before she brought the need for the protocol officer?
Before she informed you and council that she needs a protocol officer, was there a position for it?
No, the position came immediately after the, I think, if I'm not wrong, after the expiry.
There was no position for protocol officer before?
No, previous, no.
And there is no position for protocol officer? You will not find that. The mayor demanded and it was given.
No, like what I think maybe we need
I understand what you are saying.
What I'm saying,
but all you are saying boils down to what I am saying. It is requested for, and it was given.
It was requested for to be put in the budget, to start having a protocol officer.
Yes.
But if I am not wrong, I think his contract came before that period. His contract came before that period.
That's my point.
Yeah.
My point is the position was created to suit the mayor's interests.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
because
did you write to the commission?
Pardon?
Did you write to the service commission?
No, normally what happens is that the commission takes up requests following the submission.
No. Did you write to the service commission to fill this vacancy or this position?
You mean the other positions that were vacant?
CEO?
Yes, we have done that.
As CEO, did you write to the service commission for the position of a protocol officer to be filled?
Yes.
You wrote?
Yes, we wrote.
Before the appointment of Margaret?
No. That's when he came on board. I'm talking of the modality in which he came on board.
Yes.
It was first on contract.
Yes.
And then during the course of that contract, then it was included in the budget for the subsequent year. That is what I'm trying to explain.
Please proceed.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to explain. The contract was given, and then during the course of the contract period, then it was incorporated in the subsequent budget that was supposed to have.
Did you write for the service commission to fill the vacant post of protocol officer as CEO.
No, lead counsel, I think you still don't understand what I'm trying to say.
I understand you. What you are trying to say is Margaret was appointed first, given a contract.
Yes.
And then after his appointment, you try to clean your house by having it in the budget. You clearly state
Okay.
That's in all honesty, that the appointment came first, even though it's wrong, and then we now have it in the budget.
Yes.
I understand that point. I'm now saying at any point in time, for the position of a protocol officer, did you ever write to the service commission to say, we want to fill this position, whether it's before his appointment or during or after, at any point in time?
Yes.
Do you have the letter?
I'll find it out.
You wrote to the service commission saying what?
I did not write to the service commission based on one position.
I'm only talking about this position.
It was like a group. So it was not just this one that was...
Please bring that letter. But mind you, right now, I'm only interested in the protocol officer's position.
Okay.
Mr. Batchily, we will also need the contract for given to Margaret Samba.
Okay.
And all other contracts that were awarded since 2018. The one from Makumba Sane as well. Now, back to the full allocation. It says $19,000. It was given. This even exceeds the amount of $15,000 for the mayor. And is this amount for every week?
Yeah, every week, yeah.
Every week. And it involves also the mayor's utility car. So the mayor has two vehicles. One is the official car and the other is the utility car, correct?
Yes.
And what is the utility car for?
Utility car, I guess, is for errands that are not official.
For errands?
Yeah.
How many utility cars?
I'm not too sure. It's
It says two. Utility car one and utility car two.
One or two. I'm not really sure.
You don't know?
No, I'm not really sure whether it's one or two.
This thing should be on top of your head.
It's been a long time.
It should be on top of your head. So two.
Okay, and also from our standpoint, it's like we were dealing more with the amounts that were routinely required.
Yes.
But how they used to do the fueling or who they used to allocate.
The fuel is for the mayor.
Yes.
$15,000 is for the mayor.
Yes.
Like you said, how she distributes it. Do you give the allocation to say that the $5,000 is for the protocol officer? Have you ever done that? You do not do that.
I don't remember that.
It depends on her.
I don't remember doing
So
that.
if she wants to give all the $15,000 to the protocol officer, that's not your business. Correct? You would not know.
I would not know really.
That's my point. So when you do your allocations, you're doing $15,000 per week for the mayor. And let's stop distinguishing the mayor and the mayor's office. The mayor is the mayor's office. The mayor's office is the mayor. You get it? You didn't give $15,000 to Rohim Malik Law. You gave $15,000 to the mayoress.
Yes.
And the mayoress is the office. The office is the mayoress. The title and the office are one and the same.
It took us a long time to know that.
Come again?
It took us a long time then to know that.
No. Everybody knows that. That you are not giving the fuel to the private individual. Because the person occupies the seat, that is why they are entitled to the fuel. It's the office that is entitled to that fuel,
Yes.
not the private individual.
Okay.
Exactly. So now, $15,000 is, what was the justification? Who decided this amount, $15,000 is to be given to the mayor office?
I think it was based on the requirements that they advanced. The requirements they said they met, they need this amount for.
So in a month, it will be $60,000.
Yes.
In 1 month?
15 times, 15 times 4.
That's 60.
Yeah.
Is that not too much?
Well, it will depend on from which standpoint you are arguing from. From which standpoint you are arguing
The
from.
standpoint of abuse of resources. $60,000 on fuel for a month would be insane. That would be insane. That would be insane. You understand that? And also you have $19,000 here. Is there any reason why it is $19,000 on this voucher?
Could be possible at times they can ask for fuel apart from the weekly whatever supply. Could be possible.
You need to increase your voice a bit.
I say it could be possible that it was a requirement that surpassed the.
The request only says fuel.
Can I have a look?
The request only says fuel. Any explanation for that?
Yeah, like I say, it could be.
Not could be. The voucher is there.
Yeah, because like I said, normally we used to allocate 15,000. So maybe it could be that at this time around.
It could be.
They demanded for 19,000.
So they demand 9,000 and you approve 19,000.
Yes.
Why? When the allocation, as absurd as it were, for 15,000 a week.
At times their justification.
But 19,000, I mean.
Could be that they have a need to use more fuel than the usual weekly supply.
Now you tell us.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
If you need $5,000 for a week,
yes,
as opposed to your $3,500 for in a week, can you just approve it as a CEO and just give yourself $5,000?
No.
Why?
I was expecting that if there is any deviation from the weekly supply, when it comes to documentation, because normally I have instances where they can request for maybe extra fuel, which is different from the weekly supplies.
Right.
But then I'm with you. If such requests are not attached within the documentation, it would attract such questions.
That's why we are asking the questions,
Yeah.
Mr. Batchily. And
Yes.
you agree there is no justification for this, right?
Yeah, there's no justification for that.
We have the Binta Conte traveled with the mayor to New York, America. And it says traveling expense for the mayor and her secretary, $18,206. The secretary went to the US?
Yeah,
Why?
because the mayor chose to go with her secretary.
Oh God, Mr. Batchily, see, you're the first person in this commission that when you speak and you answer some questions, I'm saying in my head what was happening with this man. You know, some people you can see deliberate actions. For you, sometimes I have mixed feelings. That at some point, it appears you have been bullied.
I would not say that I was bullied.
Nobody wants to accept they have been bullied.
But I'm giving you I'm very happy to tell you the reason why some of these things I was.
Yes.
I have to explain.
Okay.
Because I have no reason not to explain.
Okay.
Like I say, normally in council, we never used to have the mayor traveling with a secretary. I'm not saying it's good or it's bad, but I'm just saying what used to pertain before.
Yes.
We never used to have a mayor traveling with a secretary.
Yes.
We never used to have a mayor traveling with a protocol officer.
Right.
When I joined council,
Right.
I used to observe, and the justifications were that we're not a big institution.
You're not?
We were not a big institution. Sorry for my language. My voice, I have sore throat. But what I'm just trying to say here is, when I joined council in 1999, these are things that myself I've never seen. So if a mayor goes to the general council,
Yes.
and explains to them that, look, because of the profile of my travels, I need somebody to go with me because it's tedious, especially with these foreign travels, for me to go on my own to represent Banjul. Okay, at that juncture, if at all the council are sympathetic to what the individual is saying and wants to accept it, Lead Council, there really, I think if I just want to say no to it, I'm just attracting, I'm just attracting, like crisis. Because
You're just what? Attracting?
a crisis.
Between you and council.
Yeah, because by the end of
They
the
say you are more powerful. not they say. Okay, of course, they are saying you guys are powerful. But the mayor has said that you, the CEO, and the finance director are very powerful.
No, that's completely not true. What I'm saying here is,
I don't believe that. I don't have to believe that.
No.
The law speaks for itself. But I'm just saying that what you are saying regarding being careful not to attract crisis, they are saying that we are afraid of the CEO and the finance director. They are the most powerful. Whatever they want to do is what they do.
Lead Council, the last thing I'll do, I keep on telling you this, is to sit here, talk to the whole nation and be telling lies.
Yes.
But I also am compelled, because I'm also looking at the future. It is not about us alone.
I know.
You have to look at, in the future, those who will be coming to be the CEOs and the other respective officials, who should be able to stand up and tell some of these people at times that, look, this is not going to happen, it's not going to happen.
Now,
we fail to do it, but it doesn't mean that we should anticipate that others should come after hearing what happened here.
absolutely.
But this is historic. So if that happens, you go to council, make up your case. For example, now if I am the CEO and I come in, no, that will not happen here, because since when I came here myself, I could have said that, okay, if I am to travel, I will go with somebody.
You will?
I will go with somebody. If I'm invited, officially.
Yes.
I wish I could have gone with somebody. But then I look at, what I came through, the culture of the council. The best thing you could do is, for example, to encourage your officials to go on different trips.
Yes.
So that by the end of the day, everybody will have the possibility of being exposed and, really feel part of being the organization.
How do you know, as CEO, that it is a council who approved this trip, that is the mayor and the secretary, to New York? How do you know?
No, normally, I would say 90% of the trips that the mayor effects are all taken to the council. She gets approval from the council.
But how is it conveyed, the approval from council?
It just comes in the form of the minutes.
Minutes?
Yeah.
From the general council's meeting?
Yeah.
Do you have the minutes? Because we don't have the minutes for that, for this travel.
Okay. Which one was it purposely?
It is voucher number 22001120, has been the contact, the traveling with the mayor is on October 2022. Now, what is the justification for traveling with the secretary to New York? Is she there to take minutes of meetings?
Well, the justification of the mayor was that when, during the course of the day, when effecting such trips, at times there is a need for a lot of things to be done at those venues. So at times there is a need to send this individual to go and take care of certain business for her during the course of these events. That was the argument forwarded to the council.
Now, do you believe that whatever council decides, whether it is in the budget, whether it is proper according to the manual or not, when it comes to finance, whatever they authorize, you should just pay? Is that what you believe?
I would say it would depend on the circumstances.
What circumstance?
Because if it's something that, is clearly stipulated that it's not supposed to be done, if it's clearly stipulated, then in that case, you don't have to go by that.
You see, the law will not anticipate that one mayor one day will want to travel with his or her secretary in that manner. So that the law will not say that in the event the mayor wants to travel with her secretary, it is unlawful. No, not in that manner. You and I know that. What the law will say is to give legality for expenditure. That in the financial manual you have authority for expenditure, and it tells you a different type of expenditure in council. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Yes. So whatever it is not there, it's not there. That's it. It even tells you expenditure in emergency situations. It tells you about the budget. Is that not the case?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, when they say that you, the CEO, you are answerable to council, it does not mean for illegal directives given to you by council. No. You are answerable to council in the exercise of your duty according to law. If what they want you to do is not in accordance with law, you cannot do it, and you should not do it. That's why you see some people resigning in their positions, because they can't go any further with their bosses. Mr. Batchily, the manual says, where you have chapter 2, financial management rules and responsibilities, the term accounting officer shall be the chief executive according to section 43, and shall be responsible for authorization of expenditure, collection, and disbursement of council funds. The recording of the day-to-day transaction of council is the responsibility of the finance staff, which you are the head. That there are numerous checks built into the system to reduce errors and fraud. Finance officers should ensure that all revenues or other monies due to the authority are received and properly collected. And the chief executive, as accounting officer of council, shall be responsible for the general management and supervision of the financial and accounting operations of council and the safeguarding of council's assets. You see, it's important that you are responsible personally for the due performance of the financial duties of council, the observance by employees of all council's financial accounting instructions, the proper disbursement of such money. You see, the proper disbursement of such money. Do you see that? So for all the monies that you have to disburse, it has to be done in the proper way. You get it? So even if the mayor is to give authority for expenditure, it has to be in the proper way. If council is to authorize expenditure, it has to be in the proper way. But none of you operate in a vacuum, not the council. Because if you have a majority in a, let's say, which you always have, and they decide to favor the mayor and just approve absurd finances, what would you do as CEO?
I always maintain that it would depend on what particular circumstances we are
You will
dealing
what?
with. I would, for example, let me take you back before you came to ask me this question. Like I said, for example, travels.
Yes.
They are permitted by the local government system for officials to travel. Yeah, so it is purely not an expenditure I would anticipate as being unlawful. But what I would agree with you in the sense that I don't know whether it's I'm taking it from an experience based point of view, like but normally in councils, I myself, I've never seen people traveling at that level, especially accompanying a senior person. So I'm with you there. But like I said, and it's not also a way of trying to justify it, the expenditure. Honestly, that's not the reason I was trying to explain to you. What I'm just saying here is, if it goes via the council, if the individual takes it to the council and makes his or her advancements as to why this particular, thing, it should happen. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that it was, it was right, in a sense. No, I was just, like I say, I'll just keep on restricting myself to the events that led to what we are talking about right now. And in the meantime, then we can have our own acknowledgements or our own studies of what might have happened. That's what I'm just coming from. Not really from an argumentative point of view.
Chair, I see it's 2 minutes to 11:30.
To rest for 30 minutes.